Hello, Franklin Avenue and Evans Park, and welcome back to another fun and exciting year in art. I'm so happy you are all with me here, and we're going to be doing so many fun things together. We're going to be learning art history, we're going to be making art, and we're going to be strengthening our imagination and our creativity. So, since we're all learning from home this week, I thought it would be a fun idea if we took a field trip. And what I would like to do is show you how an artist or a fashion designer creates a shirt from start to finish. So I'm going to take you to a fabric store and we're going to pick out a couple things together, and I'm going to show you around the aisles, and when we pick everything out, I'll take you back to my house and I will show you the beginning steps of making a shirt. Okay, so I hope you guys are ready to come along, and let's get shopping. Alright, so here we are inside the fabric store, and you can see there's so many different types of products. There's ribbons, and there's all kinds of colored thread, and seam binding, and zippers. But what we need to find are these right here. These are called patterns. You can make all kinds of things if you just follow the instructions that are inside. They also tell you what kind of fabric you need, and they tell you how much fabric you need. And if you're making something like a shirt, like we are, it will tell you how many buttons that you need for the shirt and the size of the buttons. Let's take a closer look. This is really cool. You can even make something for your pet, like a pet bed or even a jacket. You can also get a sewing pattern to make hats or bags. And I think I might pick this coat up here and make it for Boris. But let's get back to the clothing. Now, here is a sewing pattern for a pair of pajamas for a male or a female. Here's a pattern for, it looks like some workout gear or some casual outfits. But this is what I want right here. This is a shirt. And this one happens to have short sleeves, and this one here is a long sleeve shirt. But I think for our project, let's make the short sleeve shirt. So if I turn it over, I can see that it has a bunch of numbers and everything on it, and it will tell me how much fabric I need. So I'm gonna look around in the aisles and check out some of the fabric. Now, you can pick out whatever fabric you want, like this fleece here, which would be perfect for maybe those pajamas we saw earlier, but they wouldn't really be nice for a shirt, too hot. I like this fabric here, but I don't want to look like a picnic table. And this one with the Olaf, well, I'm not too sure about that one. So let's see. Now this one's kind of cool, but maybe for a Halloween costume. I wouldn't exactly use that for an everyday shirt. But I happen to like this one here. It's a little bit different. It's a plain white fabric with little black triangles on it. So now I need to head over to the buttons. And there's lots of buttons to choose from, but if I follow the directions, I can find them right here. These are the correct size buttons that the sewing pattern is telling me to buy. This stuff here is called heat and bond, and this stuff goes inside of a shirt to make it stronger. These are iron-ons I can put on later if I wanted to, but I'm not too sure I'm ready for Halloween yet. Alright, so now that we're back from the store, I want to kind of show you the things up close so you have an idea of what I picked out. So this here is the fabric, and you can see that it's white with some black triangles on it. And here are the buttons that I picked. And the reason why I picked this fabric was because as a designer, I wanted something that was different from everything that I normally wear. Everything I tend to wear has these plaid designs, so I thought if I'm gonna make something, I want it to stand out and be different. So there's the fabric, and here is the pattern that I picked out. And when you open up the pattern, it comes with all of these instructions here. Now, if you look at this, this looks very overwhelming for somebody who's never sewn before. But Like everything else in art, you have to practice. Sewing is hard. Sewing takes skill. Sewing takes practice. So I do it a lot, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. But if you practice and take your time, you too can learn to do it. Over here are all the puzzle pieces to make the shirt. So if you think of making a shirt like a gigantic puzzle, you have to find all the pieces that are on this fabric and you have to cut them out. And we're gonna show you that, or I'm gonna show you that in the next step. But just to show you up close here, this, I don't know if you can see piece number 11, you have to turn your head sideways, but any guesses on what that might be? That is a pocket on a shirt. And let's see if I can show you something else. Okay, oh, here we go. This here, number 3, I believe it is. Let's see, let me move it down and up. Do you see number 3? It's pretty big, it's a big puzzle piece. That is the sleeve. Doesn't look like one now, but when we're done, you're gonna see how cool it looks, okay? And over here is the other puzzle pieces, and this is the front of the shirt and the back of the shirt and all the other, the collar and things like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out my pieces and lay them down on the fabric. Okay, so boys and girls, what I did was I cut the patterns out, all the puzzle pieces, and I put them in number order. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read what numbers I need for this particular shirt that I'm making, and I'm gonna lay them down onto the fabric and cut them out like a puzzle piece. That way the fabric will be the right shape for the shirt. Okay, so boys and girls, I cut out all my puzzle pieces, and I just want to show you them so that way when I start putting the shirt together on the table, before I sew it, you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing. So if we start here, let's move all these pieces off to the side, and let's open this one up here. I believe, yes, this is the puzzle piece for the back of the shirt. Now, I didn't show this to you, but what I did was I folded the fabric in half, so when I cut it out, I really get 2 halves stuck together. So, this is the back of the shirt, and I'm gonna lay this down here, just like that. It's a little hard to see on the white table. In fact, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a tablecloth on here so you can see better. There, I think that's better. So let's take that back of the shirt again, and we're gonna lay it down, just like that. But if I take my camera, I think you might be able to see that, and I zoom in like that, you can kind of see the shirt forming. Pretty cool, right? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start putting this through the sewing machine, and you'll see how the beginning of the shirt is constructed. Okay, so boys and girls, the first thing I did was I used that Heat and Bond stuff, which I bought at the fabric store, and I sewed it on to the one puzzle piece that it matched, and you can see that it made the shirt nice and firm, which is great because it's going to give it nice structure. And you can see I sewed that to the one side of the shirt, and if I put this on, just pretend you can hear Boris barking, that is gonna begin the front of the shirt. So let me keep moving. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm sewing the back of the shirt to the front of the shirt up here where the shoulders meet. There is a front and a back. So let's keep moving. Okay, so now what I did was I took the two pieces that are gonna make the collar, the front and the back, and I sewed them together, and I'm gonna turn them around just like this. And I'm gonna run it under a nice hot iron, and that's gonna start to make the collar on the shirt. Okay, so boys and girls, I just finished putting in, zoom it up for you here, the collar. Do you see the collar of the shirt? That has to get ironed down, just like that, but you can start to see the collar forming. And now I'm gonna be working on the sleeve of the shirt. Okay, so boys and girls, I finished most of my sewing on the sewing machine, and you can see I have the shirt here. It's almost done. But one thing I have to do is I have to hand sew those black buttons on. So to do that, I'm gonna get out my black thread, and I have a sewing needle in here, and I'm going to do that by hand. And when it's done, I will show you what my new art shirt looks like. I decided I'm gonna use it in art class. That way if I get paint on my clothes, or if I get paint on this shirt, it'll protect my shirt underneath. So I'm gonna use it more of a smock, because I think it is a little bit too big for me. But I'm gonna use it for protecting my good shirt. So let's see what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so boys and girls, you can see I have the finished art shirt on that I created, and it's a little bit big, but I think I'm gonna use it, like I said, to protect my clothes when I'm working. So it's sort of like a smock. And I think because I'm gonna use it for that, as the designer of the outfit, I'm gonna add some more pockets. That way I can put paintbrushes over here, and maybe markers over here, and some more art supplies up here. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I was able to construct a shirt from start to finish, and I'm using it to fit my own needs as an artist. So at this time, I need you to go to your grade level link and see what you're doing. Have a great day.